Imagine standing inside a prison where thousands of inmates lived in total silence. A place where shadowy figures are said to still walk the corridors and where even the toughest paranormal investigators have been known to run out in fear. This is Eastern State Penitentiary, considered one of the most haunted prisons in the world. But are the spirits real, or are they simply the echoes of cruelty, punishment, and human suffering that once filled these walls? When Eastern State opened its doors in 1829, it wasn't just another prison. It was a grand experiment built on a radical and brutal mission: complete and total isolation. Inmates were forced to live entirely alone in small, cold stone cells. They ate alone. They worked alone. They slept alone. Even when they were taken outside for their 1 hour of daily exercise, guards would place thick, black hoods over their heads so they couldn't see another human being or even catch a glimpse of the sky. The idea behind this system, known as the Pennsylvania system, was simple but severe. Total silence would force prisoners into a state of penitence, making them reflect on their crimes and find God. Instead, it drove many of them into madness. The psychological torture of solitary confinement was profound. The silence wasn't peaceful. It was a crushing weight. Prisoners would lose their grip on reality, hallucinating, screaming, and talking to themselves for hours on end. And over the decades, as the prison became overcrowded and the initial philosophy faded, it became notorious for its cruelty. Stories of torture became common. One punishment, known as the mad chair, involved strapping an inmate to a chair so tightly that it cut off their circulation for days. Another involved dousing prisoners in freezing water and leaving them outside in the middle of winter. The despair was palpable. Riots broke out, men took their own lives, and the building itself seemed to soak up all the misery. By the time it finally closed its doors in 1971, Eastern State had housed some of America's most dangerous and infamous criminals, including the notorious bank robber Slick Willie Sutton, and even the gangster Al Capone, who spent 8 months here in a surprisingly lavish cell. Today, Eastern State Penitentiary stands in ruins, a crumbling monument to a dark past. But many believe it's far from empty. Visitors and staff alike report a chilling array of unexplained phenomena. People frequently claim to see dark, fleeting figures darting across the long, empty only to vanish when they turn to get a better look. Disembodied screams, moans, and agonized wails are said to echo through the corridors, often coming from cells that have been locked for decades. People feel sudden, inexplicable cold spots in otherwise warm rooms, or the unsettling feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. Some have even reported being touched or shoved by an invisible force. Certain areas of the prison have developed their own paranormal reputations. Cellblock 12 is famous for the disembodied, maniacal laughter that seems to reverberate from its empty cells, along with the sound of ghostly footsteps pacing back and forth. Cellblock 4 is notorious for sightings of shadow people, strange, dark forms that seem to crawl along the walls and ceilings before dissolving into the darkness. In Cellblock 6, visitors often claim to hear faint whispers coming from behind the locked iron doors, as if the former inmates are still trying to communicate. One of the most well-known accounts comes from a locksmith who was working at the prison in the 1990s. While trying to remove a very old lock from a cell door, he claimed to see a silhouette figure inside the cell, pacing back and forth, consumed by anguish. He said the figure then turned, looked directly at him, and seemed to walk right through the stone wall, disappearing completely. Ghost hunting teams from around the world have investigated these claims, and many have left with what they believe is startling evidence. They've recorded growls, apparitions, on camera, and strange electronic voice phenomena, or EVPs, capturing whispers that defy any logical explanation. This is the haunting version of the story. But, of course, there's another side. Skeptics argue that the stories are shaped more by atmosphere and psychology than by actual ghosts. The prison's physical state is undeniably spooky. The decaying stone walls, the long, dark corridors, and the collapsing ceilings create eerie acoustics, where any small sound can be amplified and distorted. Wind whistling through broken windows can sound like a whisper or a moan. Shadows stretch and dance unnaturally under the dim lights, making it easy for the human eye to mistake a flicker for movement. Furthermore, the chilling history of isolation, madness, and torture primes visitors to expect fear. When you walk into a place known for suffering, your mind is already on high alert, and it can easily fill in the blanks, turning a draft into a cold spot or a creak into a footstep. Critics also point out that after the prison closed, it became a major tourist attraction, especially for its massive Halloween event. Terror behind the walls. As Eastern State's fame as a paranormal hotspot grew, so did the number of ghost stories. Tourism, media attention, and the power of suggestion likely played a huge role in cementing its haunted reputation. Still, thousands of people visit each year, and many leave completely convinced that they felt something watching them, something that didn't want them there. So we are left with two compelling possibilities. Either Eastern State Penitentiary is truly haunted by the restless souls of the forgotten and the broken, spirits trapped within the walls that caused them so much pain, or it is simply a powerful monument to human suffering, where the weight of history is so heavy that it creates its own ghosts in our minds. Is Eastern State truly haunted, or is it just haunted by its past? Which truth do you believe? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the world's most mysterious places. Thanks for watching.